characterized zviganandas as the looting class, the untouchable beneficiaries of proximity to power. He has said they have been exposed beyond reasonable doubt, as he also exposes that the history has begun writing the chapter of retired General Chiwenga in all this ZANU-PF political fiasco. Greetings and welcome to your lovely channel, the Hlonipani Global News. If you're watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. So this is how retired Lieutenant General Winston Sikaoke Mapranka noted. He says, "I am not a man given to alarm. 40 years of military service teaches you to distinguish between the noise of politics and the traumas that precede genuine collapse. I have seen both, and I'm witnessing in Zimbabwe. Today is the latter. The rot is no longer deniable. What the people have taken to calling Zvigananda, the looting class, the untouchable beneficiaries of proximity to power, has metastasized from a complaint whispered as growth points into a national crisis visible from every capital on this continent. Markets that should be feeding families are concerned. Contracts that should be building schools are eaten. Land that belongs to the nation is being parceled out to Takwire and his cartel. The connected, while war veterans who bled for this soil die in poverty. This is not governance. This is extraction dressed in the language of patriotism. I have watched with growing unease how those who raised the concerns are managed rather than answered. This is not the Zimbabwe that General Josiah Makama Tongokara died for. This is not what the liberation cost us. I must say what many are thinking, but few with anything to lose will say publicly. Vice President Constantino Gouveia Dominic Nikazino Chiwenga remains the most consequential figure standing between Zimbabwe and the Mobutu trajectory. I choose those words carefully. Not the most powerful, not the most popular. Consequential because the question of his role is one that history will not allow us to defer indefinitely. General Chiwenga is not a politician by formation. He is a soldier, and soldiers understand something that politicians have forgotten, that the institutions exist to outlast individuals. And that when individuals begin cannibalizing institutions for personal enrichment, the state itself is at risk. It was precisely this understanding that animated November 2017. Whatever one's view of the method, the diagnosis was correct. The patient, the Zimbabwean state, was in crisis. The tragedy is that the operation treated one symptom and left the disease untreated. Zvigananda did and exactly. The operation removed Mugabe was just a symptom, and the root cause of that symptom, the root cause of that disease was not uprooted in 2017. The military were saying they are targeting corrupt elements around the president. Did you see anyone being successfully prosecuted? I've not seen one. It's either they have been acquitted or they escaped the country, and some are in the country. They are enjoying, nothing is being done to them. So I think that is what he's saying. The disease remain really untreated. Zviganandas did not begin with the previous administration, and it has not ended. It has not merely rebranded. New names, same logic, access equals immunity. Proximity equals impunity. The presidential borehole is sunk next to a ministerial farm. The hospital refurbishment tender goes to the connected company Prevail International Group. The solar scheme benefits those whose first phone call can reach the highest office in the land. I am not a naive person. I'm not a naive man, rather. I do not imagine that any single leader, however principled, can cue by force of personality what is structural corruption. Systems are what discipline individuals, but systems require political will to enforce. And political will require leadership with both the moral clarity and the institutional authority to act. That combination exists today in one figure. General Chiwenga carries within him the credibility of the liberation struggle, the respect of the military institution, and crucially the scar tissue of a man who has seen the consequences of unchecked power up close. He knows what it cost. He has paid some of what that's cost personally. History does not offer Zimbabwe unlimited opportunities for cost protection. Nations that reach the Mobutu inflection point where the state and the looting class become indistinguishable, rarely recover without convulsive pain. The general was writing strong language here. The question is not whether Zimbabwe corrects course. The question is whether it does so before or after the convulsion. I say this not as a partisan. I have no faction, no benefactor, no ministerial ambition. Let me just continue, and the second part is quite long. I say it as a man who wore the uniform of this republic for 4 decades and who refuses to watch in silence while what that uniform represents is dishonored by those who have confused state resources with personal inheritance. Vice President Chiwenga should not wait to be invited into history. History is already writing his chapter. The only question left what that chapter will say. Zimbabwe is watching, Africa is watching, and those who are quietly confident that zvigananda will simply continue indefinitely will do well to remember no system of extraction has ever been permanent. The only variable is how it ends. And that is retired Lieutenant General Winston Sigauke Mapranga. You know, without adding more on the statement, the general was speaking, in a hidden way, but in my view, signaling what could possibly happen in Zimbabwe. What I have been telling people that we are living in extraordinary time. Anytime you can hear any news. Thank you very much for watching us. If you're watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the subscribe button. You can financially support this channel by pressing the thanks button and be part of our members who are the heartbeat of this channel. You can equally do so by pressing the join button and be part of our members who are the heartbeat of this channel. Okancubu Mhlabane is signing off. Let me love and leave you. Let's meet on the other side of the live broadcast as I give